Reform UK's treasurer Nick Candy is in the Epstein files. I found him and I'm going to tell you how. When the Epstein files were first released or slowly been released, you can actually look yourself if you Google Epstein Library and you can search for keywords. This was something that obviously lots of people were doing. But for some reason, I had Nick Candy in my head. Now, Nick Candy is part of the Candy brothers, two brothers, Nick and Chris Candy, who are property developer tycoons, and they are also big donors to Reform UK. So Nick Candy is the treasurer for Reform UK. So I already knew about him because I've been looking into how he moved to Monaco, and he's bragged in certain interviews about how he's done that to avoid or minimise paying tax, which kind of irked me already. Like, why is Reform UK appointing a treasurer who likes tax avoidance? So he was already on my radar. And when I started looking into the Epstein files, I tried a few different names. Lots of people were searching through them. And for some reason, I thought, who do I know that's a bit of a wrong-un, who I haven't heard about being in the Epstein files, but might well be there? So I put his name in. I was shocked at what came up. Let's take a look. So I'm going to go through what the findings are now. It's important to say this doesn't necessarily imply legal wrongdoing or anything like that, but it's for you to make up your own mind up about what they mean, because for me, there are certain questions around morality and ethics that need answering here. So one of the first things I found was an email sent to Jeffrey Epstein with the subject 21 Chesham Place. I'll put it up. This says, I attached the PDF for the flat in the Candy and Candy development in Chesham Place. Can I confirm that is asking £39 million? Yeah, a lot of money, right? So this is clearly a deal taking place with Epstein involving the Candy brothers. Now, this is in June 2010. So this is after Jeffrey Epstein was convicted for his crimes. Then I kept looking and I saw another email from David Stern to Jeffrey Epstein, which says about 2 floors, attachments show floor plan, crazy prize number ? Now, below that, what you'll see is a email from Oliver, subject Hyde Park. Now, this is another property from the Candys that lists the details of the property, and it clearly says, again, that it's from Candy and Candy offering it. This, again, is in 2010, in May. So another property, Hyde Park and Chesham Place. Then saw an email, by the way, when you search for this, you put Candy in, because I put Nick Candy in, and obviously not many came up, so I winded it to Candy. I spent all night going through about 750 files that contain the word Candy. Not pleasant, lots of ugly things in the Epstein files. But it is worth it to see all the things that I did come up with. So then I saw another email, which is talking about, this is where it starts to get really, really weird, talking about Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, Ghislaine Maxwell was Epstein's right-hand woman and fellow sex trafficker and paedophile. Pretty awful woman. Now, there is emails basically between Candy and between somebody that's unknown at this point in 2004. So we're talking quite a while back before Epstein was convicted, but whilst they were at the height of their crimes. And the first email that I saw said, hey, Nick. This is to Nick Candy. Hey, Nick, it's blank, Ghislaine Maxwell's friend. We had dinner on Halloween. I know you probably never knew my surname. Hope all is well and you're having many exciting adventures. Hope to see you again soon. Nick replies, will do. What are your telephone numbers? My UK mobile is blank. I'm in New York from Thursday the 9th of December for 4 days. So this I thought was a bit strange. Nick Candy appears to be friendly with Ghislaine Maxwell, who at the time was unconvicted but was at the height of her sexual crimes. And then I was trying to figure out who the blank was. Then I followed the subject trail. So I researched the subject heading and found similar email trails. And actually there is a slip in one of the emails where it shows who it came from, and it comes from Sarah Kellen. And it gives her email here, kellen@earthlink.net. Now, Sarah Kellen was Epstein's other assistant and also associated and implicated in all the crimes. She actually got a plea deal in America, so was never charged for a lot of these crimes. But the evidence against her is overwhelmingly showing that she was up there with Maxwell and Epstein. So she was meeting with Nick Candy. Now, again, that doesn't imply that Nick Candy was implicated in any of those crimes, but it's certainly a dodgy friendship. And this was back in 2004. So skip forward then. What we've got is contact with Maxwell and Kellen back in 2004. But then what we've also got is dealings in property in 2010 and 20 2012 as well. So another email in 2014, which is from Maxwell to Epstein, she's talking about Nick Candy. She says, I like both of those guys. Again, familiarity showing that she likes them. One of the Candy brothers wants to see 71st on Friday. Do you want to? So again, this is in 2014. So this is another sale. And this actually links to Epstein's mansion in New York, the massive property. So in that the Candy were also in that. So we've already got about 2 or 3 different property deals after the conviction with the Candy brothers and Epstein. So that shows that the Candys were doing business with the Epsteins after their conviction, which again, not illegal, but it's got to be a pretty immoral way to make a living, right? Making money by trading with known paedophiles. To me, would be a red line I would never cross. But then you've also got the fact that they were friends with paedophiles, not convicted at the time. Sarah Cullen and Glistening Maxwell, again, to me, huge red flags. Like, if you're willing to, like, who are you hanging out with? Who are you friends with? This is all pretty alarming stuff. And what was really more alarming was when Channel 4 asked Nigel Farage about it in an interview the night after I uncovered it. So I uncovered this, and I can't remember exactly when. It was after the first Epstein dump back in January or February. And I published it overnight on a Twitter thread, which got significant interest, obviously, because nobody had come across this yet. The next day, The Guardian on ITV, I think the ITV asked him, like, Farage, oh, what about your treasurer being in the Epstein files? And Farage says, oh, he's friends with everyone. That's what I love about Nick. Like, his strength is the fact that he's friends with paedophile networks and the kind of the grossest cabal crime syndicate in recent history. And then the media just kind of dropped it. Now, I don't know why they're not making more of this, because it troubles me. Nick Candy is still Reform's treasurer, and he's one of Reform's biggest donors. So obviously now we know a bit more about Reform's donors, because the Thai-based businessman Chris Harborne has been giving millions of pounds undeclared to Farage as well. So this is just another in the donor scandals for who is actually funding Reform UK. And Nick Candy and Farage go way back. They've been friends for a long time. They've been allies for a long time. More questions need answering, and I'm yet to hear anything from Nick Candy about this, and I'm yet to hear anything more from Farage about this. So we need to keep the pressure up to be like, why not? I'll link to the article in which I show the emails a bit more, so you can have a look through them for yourselves, and that's what I advise you to do, look through them for yourselves.